As time goes on, eventually there's going to be a fracture in the Republican Party. The Republican Party fractures between the liberal Republicans and the Grant Republicans. And there's a lot of politics involved in this, and some of it has to do with economics. There's a depression in 1873, a pretty severe one. There's some people around Grant that were pretty corrupt, which Grant had a pretty poor judgment on, although there's little that suggests he was corrupt himself. The liberal Republicans are going to eventually usher in what we're going to call the Gilded Age. So I want you to kind of put this in your back pocket, and we'll think about it more when we get into Standard 3. But the liberal Republicans are going to be for what we call laissez-faire capitalism or free market capitalism, this idea that the government should have very few regulations on businesses and industries, and the free market will settle things out. They also believed in hard currency. In other words, they wanted gold coins as the standard. They want to get away from what's referred to as greenbacks or paper money because they thought that would lead to inflation and that would be bad for business. Now, here's one of the things that often happens when the economy is bad. People start saying, never mind about rights, right? Let's worry about jobs. Let's worry about getting the economy going. We can't worry about people's rights, especially minority rights. We need to worry about the economy. So the liberal Republicans are going to be pushing to end Reconstruction because they got other better things to focus on, in their opinion. They're going to be opposed to Grant and his fighting of the KKK. Grant passed something called the Ku Klux Klan, or I'm sorry, the Congress passed something called the Ku Klux Klan Act, which allowed Grant to enforce protections for the freedmen, and the liberal Republicans are going to be opposed to his use of the government for that. And we can see a dramatic turn in how to think about the Reconstruction happening here. Up until this point, it had been a story about emancipation, that the Civil War was about emancipating the freedmen, the formerly enslaved people, and now Reconstruction has gone too far, and now we need to have reconciliation. They need to get the country back together. And there's going to be an effort to throw the African Americans under the bus so that the white North and the white South can come back together and live in harmony and get the economy going. And this is what one person said: everybody is heartily tired of discussing the Negro's rights. They believe the removal of white prejudice against the Negro depends almost entirely on the Negro himself rather than the presence of federal troops. So they're tired of the war, and they want to just quit, and they want to leave. Like I said, they're throwing the African American freedmen under the bus.